Hey everyone, Scott Reinhardt here with Carlson Financial, and today I want you to have just an overview, general knowledge of the Federal Reserve and its purpose. So that's what we'll be discussing today. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll just have a better idea of the structure of the Fed and what they really set out to do. So let's start with an overview of the Fed and how it's structured and where it goes from there. So the Fed was established in 1913, a long time ago, and it was really established to prevent bank runs. So a bank run, picture the movie It's a Wonderful Life, when all the people in the town show up at the bank and it interrupts their honeymoon, spoiler alert. And, everyone is worried that they're not going to be able to get money out of the banks. The Fed was established to really kind of help put an end to those. It didn't put an end completely, but before the Fed was established, these were very common and happened quite a bit. So that was why the Fed was established. So the Fed structure is made up of a board of governors. That's kind of the leadership. And the current chairman is Jerome Powell. So in the news, when you see that the Fed has come out and said something, or there's comments from the Fed, usually that's coming from Jerome Powell. And it's made up of 7 governors, all appointed by the president for 14-year terms. So then the operating arm of the Federal Reserve are the 12 Federal Reserve banks. Each of them make up a different part of the country and covers the different parts of the country. Think of the Federal Reserve banks as a banker's bank. So for instance, here in Kansas, the member banks, they use the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City for all their needs. So those Federal Reserve banks, they store money, they process checks, they're kind of a clearinghouse for the transactions that happen in that region. So then, of course, the member banks are the ones that use the Federal Reserve banks, and that's about 38% of commercial banks in the United States. And finally, there's the Federal Open Market Committee. And this is the committee that manages the nation's money supply. So they're the ones that decide when new money needs to be created, when interest rates need to change, go up or down. And so that's really the monetary policy side of the Federal Reserve. So now let's move on to what is the purpose of the Fed. Now, this has definitely evolved over time. This is the part of the Federal Reserve that has a lot of debates, whether their purpose has evolved too much over time. But right now, the Fed operates under what's called a dual mandate. So they have 2 main things they're trying to accomplish. Number one, they're trying to accomplish maximum employment. So the Fed has come out and said, as recently as December of 2019, that the long-term average unemployment rate should be somewhere between 3.5% and 4.5%. That's why when this coronavirus stuff happened and unemployment soared to 15%, the Fed really had to step in and take some action to get that back down. And then the second part of the dual mandate is to allow stable prices with moderate long-term interest rates. So for all the goods and services that you and I buy on a daily basis, we want stable prices. We don't want inflation getting out of control, but a little bit of inflation is healthy. So the Fed has said that about 2% inflation is the long-term goal. Obviously, that's going to fluctuate year to year, but the Fed is going to enact their monetary policy. They're going to do the things that they do, raising interest rates, lowering interest rates, creating money, taking money back out of the system, all with the goal of creating maximum employment and stable prices with a healthy level of inflation. So there you go. That's a quick and easy overview of the Fed and its structure and its current purpose. So you know where to find us, carlsonfinancial.com. Give us a call, 844-CARLSON, if you want to discuss with an advisor or set up a time to discuss anything else. Hope you have a good rest of your day.